Folks, welcome into Free Money Football. I'm your host, Ty B, and we got MereKat joining me today. It is Sunday, NFL Week 9, and we're here to bring you our best bets of the weekend here to get you that free money. MereKat, we went through these games the other day, some very interesting lines, some fun lines, and I think we got some free money here to give to the people.
I'm feeling good heading into today. The last few weeks, a little bit rough. Nice bounce back last week, though. Made some good free money there. Player props been hitting, so I got another one today to go at it. But yeah, we're feeling good. I got all my plays set yesterday. Usually Sunday, like I'm still scrambling, I'm tweaking here and there. I said, no, none of that this week. Get it all done Saturday. I'm placing all of my bets Saturday night, and so I don't have to worry Sunday. I don't second guess myself. I don't question. I don't see a tweet about something that like tries to sway me in the other direction. I am firm on my positions today, folks.
Yep, absolutely on that one, and let's get into it. And that's why I'm going to start right here with this game, Meerkat. And that's the Carolina Panthers plus 3.5 in this one. This game opened, I think the Panthers were actually favored by a point in some books. Now Panthers getting 3.5. Guess what? Christian McCaffrey was just activated off the IR. He's going to be playing today, and that means so much for that Panthers offense, especially with Sam Darnold at the helm. They're so much more dynamic with Christian McCaffrey in the game. Chuba Hubbard's been playing pretty well for them lately, so it's going to be nice to see how they balance them. They did a decent balancing job early on in the season, but I like the Panthers in this one. I think that a lot of people are getting really high on these Patriots here, and you look at some of the numbers here in that one, and the betting, a lot of the money is coming in on the Panthers right now, whereas the high percentage of the bets are on the Patriots. Looks like the public's on the Patriots. Sharp money's coming in on the Panthers. I'm
Mhm.
riding with the sharp money Meerkat in that one. I'm going with the Panthers, especially now you're getting that hook at 3.5.
Yeah, the hook there and the sharp money. That's a weird game where people are going to be like, "Oh, Patriots just beat the Chargers. Patriots put up a 50 burger a couple weeks ago." Public's going to love the Patriots, and I like Mac Jones. I'm going to admit his floor is a lot higher than I originally thought, but this team isn't that good. They're not. I still don't think they're a playoff team as of right now, and so I don't hate that bet, but I'm gonna kick it right off with a player prop. Yeah, I like the Bills today. I got some other Bills plays, but I want to give out a prop in this game, and I like Zach Moss over 16.5 receiving yards. I think that's a real low number for him. He's outsnapped Singletary each of the last 6 weeks. Now, Singletary still RB1, but he's just kind of starting the game out first quarters and stuff as that, lead back. And once we get the lead, it's been Zach Moss. He's more secure. Singletary had 4 fumbles in the first 3 games. That crushed his confidence, with the coaching staff. So now Moss is that lead guy when we're up, and his targets are going up every week. The last 3 weeks, he has 15 targets, 11 catches on those for 55, 15, and 39. I like him to go over that today against the Jacksonville defense, allowing the 3rd most passing yards per game in the league at nearly 280 right now. Give me a little Zach Moss action. I mean, this is one of those props you can get it done in one catch, but I like him to get, 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
catches. Low number.
Yeah, a lot of times teams have been trying to take, the deep throws away lately from the Bills team. They're not trying to let them go downfield, with 1, 2, 3 plays and, get into the red zone. They're really trying to force them to matriculate themselves down. And Josh has done a good job lately hitting those checkdowns, especially to Zach Moss. And he's broken a couple of them for, 20, 30 yards because defenses have been bailing so deep. So I love that play there, Meerkat. And I have another play for that Bills game. I know the Bills last week, first game, they didn't have the lead at halftime in what feels like eons. I think it was almost 20 weeks consecutively where the Bills held the lead going into half. So I'm going to take the Bills here, first half minus 8.5. Jaguars, I don't think they're going to be able to put up any points really against this Bills defense. You give me 2, 3 touchdowns in the first half, you're covering that 8.5 very easy, Meerkat. No, nothing more I really have to say about that one, other than the Bills are going to beat the absolute brakes off the Jaguars today.
Yeah, nice and simple there. I love the Bills today. I like the Bills first half line minus 7.5. A lot of Bills have been destroying teams in the first
Yeah, it's
quarter,
8.5
first
now.
half this season. 8.5 now. That's why we place those bets Saturday night now. You get the better lines before people start jumping on stuff. But I'm going to a game I talked about on the preview. This is my last stand on the Cleveland Browns. I'm buying a half a point. I got the Browns at +3 against the Bengals today, -125 when you buy that half a point, just for the little bit of insurance. I do like the Browns straight up. I'm going to be sprinkling that money line, but this is their last stand. And they need to make up ground in this AFC North. The whole AFC North is good right now, and you're going to get 2 playoff teams out of there. Which two? I mean, I think the Browns are better than the Steelers. I still think the Browns are better than the Bengals, and they have a chance to show that today. The Browns defense ranks 7th versus the pass, which is kind of Cincy's bread and butter this year. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Now, I'm not saying they really have the weapons to stop that combo, but slow them down a bit. That's all you got to do. And then that defensive line, they have the 3rd most sacks per game, nearly 3 this year per game, where Cincy's offensive line has struggled a bit. You already saw Burrow last year with that injury. You don't want him getting hit, but if anybody's going to hit him, it's going to be your divisional rival Browns front 7, who are absolute monsters. And when you look at the money coming in on this game, only about 1/3 of the bets on the spread are on the Browns, but near over 2/3 of the money are on the Browns spread. So a lot of sharp action here on them. I'm fading the public, riding the sharps here. Let's go Browns. Don't disappoint me again.
Yeah, the Browns have been just such a weird team this year. Shout out to my buddy Isaiah over there in Cleveland. He was denouncing his Browns fandom, trying to
Oh
sell his
no.
autographed Baker jersey. He's hopping on the Bills Mafia train with us, so that's always nice to
Welcome.
see. But next game I'm targeting here, I'm looking at the Falcons and the Saints. Looking at the betting handles on this one, it's about 50% bets and money each way. So. Um, when you're telling me I got to take the Saints or the Falcons, I'm taking the Saints all day, every day. I don't care that Trevor Simeon's starting. I picked him up in the Empire League. That man's going to put up points against the Saints or this Falcons defense. Um, you've seen, even bad offenses have been able to move the ball against the Falcons. So you have still some decent weapons there for the Saints. Obviously, you're not going to get Michael Thomas back at all this year, but that just means you have to continue to develop some of these guys like Marquez Callaway and Deontay Harris, I believe. So when I'm looking at this, Saints -6.5 all day. That line has already jumped to -7 um, at DraftKings in the past 20 minutes. So that line obviously is moving without much of the money going that way, unless they're getting hit hard right now by some sharps. But I'm all over the Saints in that one. They have a very good
Mhm.
defense. I think it's going to make things tough for Matt Ryan. We saw, he's a very, very tough competitor. He was playing through that bleeding finger last week, didn't give a fuck about it. He was leaking everywhere. But I don't think Kyle Pitts and Cordero Patterson are going to be enough to get them over in this one, Meerkat.
Yeah, I like that play there a lot. I'm riding that one personally, but my next one going with a sweet little money line parlay here. Nice little safe one. We're playing it safe today. We bought a half a point on the Browns. Now we're parlaying 2 big favorites who I like today. It's the Ravens and the Rams money line parlay. Get it about -120, 125. Good value there for these teams. Now I hate taking the Ravens over the Vikings, who I haven't been able to quit these Vikings like I haven't been able to quit the Browns, but I'm finally doing it with the Vikes. It just needs to be done. They can't cover games right now. Like they're 3-4 against the spread this year on the season, but we brought it up in the preview where they're 3-11 in their last 14. They have been on a bad streak of covering games with Kirk Cousins, and the Ravens are 6-1 in their last 7 at home, which they are today. Sharp money's on the spread, but I'll buy some insurance on the Ravens money line there. Pairing it with the Rams, who the Titans offense without Derrick Henry, I just think they're going to struggle right off the rip. I know Ryan Tannehill is decent. He deserves more credit than I give him. And I like Julio, no matter, even if he's banged up. A.J. Brown's been incredible, but I don't think that's enough without Derrick Henry. And this Rams defense should be able to take advantage. And a Rams defense that just added Von Miller, who is going to be reborn there. I think
Yeah.
you saw him the first thing. He's like, oh, I went to bed 3-3, woke up, 7-1. And it's just like he's happy to be there. He wants to produce. He wants to win, and he's got the chance. Let him eat against a bad Titans offensive line. They've allowed the fifth most passing touchdowns this year and 6th most passing yards per game. And Matt Stafford just 2,500 yards and 22
Mhm.
touchdowns so far this year. He should have a day.
Yep, absolutely. And Meerkat, I got to go back to the well on this one. This is
Uh-oh.
this has been paying off all year for us. The line's finally moved up on Renfro. It's at 5.5 this week,
There
but
we
we all
go.
know what's happened with Vegas. And Waller has been banged up a lot, so what are you going to do? You're going to force feed Hunter Renfrow, your safety blanket. He's at 5.5 receptions, like I said, this week, plus 110. So you're getting some plus value on it. He's gone over 5.5 receptions in 4 of his 7 contests this year. So you're already looking at, plus value on something that's happened over 50% of the time so far this season. And in a situation against a Giants secondary that it has been very porous at times. I think you're going to be able, if you're the Raiders, you're going to be trying to feed Renfro. He's been the guy all year. He's Mr. Consistency for him. So I think he's going to very easily get that. I saw even his total was, it had been sitting around, 46, 47, somewhere in that range. It's still it's been jumped up to around I think it was in the 60s now. So they're expecting Renfro to get a bigger chunk, and I think he's going to get it in this game against the Giants. MereKat.
Yeah, you love the Hunter Renfro props. You love the Cooper Cup props. Vegas is starting to take notice. You were on them early, taking advantage, and you can still take advantage of them. We talked about Cups last week where it was like 98.5, and he crushed it. Just whatever. He's like, fuck that prop. I'll go over that. Like, I love it. I love these receiver props this year. This next one's sketchy. It's kind of a double play. I don't love it, but I do love it. Like, I love it so much that I should hate it, and I should hate it. I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm going Packers plus 7.5 a unit and half a unit on the money line plus 245. I just don't know how to feel about this play other than I'm terrified. I'm excited. Let's dive right into it. It's way too much value on the Packers money line not to at least dabble, and I like them to cover. Kansas City isn't good. They're 4-14 against the spread in their last 18 games, and 4-14 against the spread in their last 18 as favorites. They're just not good against the spread. Even last year before the downfall of Mahomes in this team. And Green Bay, week 1 didn't count. They're 7-0 against the spread this year. 4-1 in their last 5 as underdogs against the spread. And I know a lot of this is with Aaron Rodgers, but I love Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a guy invested in the hobby a little bit. I think when it's his time, which it's not yet, it's still Aaron Rodgers' team, but he gets a shot today to say, hey, look what I can do when it is my time. I love him to show out today. You got Devontae Adams back. Aaron Jones is 100%. You have super quarterback-friendly weapons on this offense for him. Should be an easy transition. I just love the value on the Packers today, boys. I said, boys, we don't have Stevie. I'm sorry. I miss Stevie right now. I want to call him a homer. I want to make fun of the Rams, but he's not here, folks. Little internet issues. I'm sure he's going to get the best bets out for us, though. We'll retweet that from DDZ so you can get all those goodies.
Oh, absolutely. Shout out Stevie. We already know he's going to be getting his picks out there for everybody. And on to my last play, MereKat, and I'm looking at this Cardinals 49ers game, and it is another player prop, but I'm looking at James Conner anytime touchdown. He's scored in 5 of 8 games so far this season, and it's at plus 160. Love the value on that. He has 8 touchdowns overall this year. He's been Mr. Consistent for them. He hasn't been getting a ton of carries, but he gets them where they matter, and he's been converting on them and scoring touchdowns. So I like it in this one against the Niners, where the Cardinals still 3.5-point underdogs in that one. Still a sketchy line. If it's going to be a lower scoring game, if that's sort of, I guess that's probably the Niners' only recipe for a win in that one, then I like James Conner to get 1 or 2 rushing again, and he's going to be in my fantasy lineup yet again, MereKat.
James Conner is who's back of the week, but you're talking about lines that are scary. I know the last one scared me. This is another one that scares me because it doesn't make sense. I'm going with the Chargers money line minus 125 here. What are they live on the spread right now? Like plus 1.5, minus 1. Sorry, not plus 1. They're minus 1 right now. It's just a weird line against an Eagles team where the Chargers are supposed to be this elite team. They've kind of flashed it. Past few weeks have been rough for them, and now the Eagles are coming off a big win where it was just a weird win for them. They had Jordan Howard off the practice squad coming up and scoring touchdowns, and the backfield producing out of nowhere, even though the play calling was awful. And Jalen Hurts has his worst games, but they will crush it. And it's just like, what was going on? I just think Staley is such a better coach than Sirianni. We're not going to get that type of consistency out of Sirianni, and I don't even accredit the win to him last week. I think, even though Chargers run defense is awful, and that Philly's coming off a great rushing performance and has Jalen Hurts, I just think, Sirianni isn't going to do it. I don't think he's going to run a good enough game plan for this team. We've seen him fail game after game up until last week. I don't think something suddenly clicked. I think it was more of an abnormality, and the Chargers are just a better team. This is a game they need to win, get back in the conversation, restore that confidence, get your swagger back type game. I got to take the Chargers here, even though it scares me.
Yeah, it's it's very scary because literally the Eagles are the definition of a roller coaster of a team this
Yep.
year. I would would not want to be a fan of their team because of the roller coaster of emotions. And as a Jalen Hurts Empire League owner, I need Jalen Hurts to figure things out and start turning up, baby. Hopefully he does, and holds on to that starting position there for Philadelphia. But MereKat, that's going to wrap it up for us. Make sure you guys stay tuned for all the action over at Degenerate Zone for more throughout the day and throughout the weeks. MereKat has been crushing it with the dart of the day. Dart, it's got to get up over 20. It's got to stay there, MereKat.
Yeah, he's been up and down. He's hitting these big dogs recently, then losing the layups. I don't know what's going on. It's just classic Dart behavior where he'll go hot and then he'll be like, "Oh, nope, we're not going to hit the heat, or we're going to lose two straight." Today, we have a full NFL board. I wanted football. There's literally only two little slivers that aren't the NFL. Takes the NBA. I hate this thing sometimes.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys check that out over on Degenerate Zone, as we said. Make sure you guys retweet and like this. If you're watching over on Twitter, hit the thumbs up. And make sure you guys subscribe if you're watching over on YouTube. That'll wrap it up for us. Make sure you get out there, go hammer the creek, go text in your bets, call them in, do whatever you got to do. Go get that free money. Good night now.